Good morning, friends. This is Friday, I think the 13th. I'm not sure. Friday the 13th? I don't know. It's the Friday right before Father's Day, and hopefully you will be seeing this video on Monday, the day after Father's Day. I mentioned on Facebook, and if you're not following me on Facebook, I'll have the link in the description box below, that on Tuesday of this week, I threw my back out. I've had a bad back for a really long time. I ruptured a disc when I was in my mid-20s, and for the most part, I have not suffered with it too badly, but on occasions, it will flare up and I'll be pretty debilitated for a while. This time is by far the worst attack. It's not really an attack. The worst setback that I've had with my back in a really long time. And the way I heard it was so stupid. I was just out in my greenhouse Tuesday morning, and the lettuce and the spinach and all of that needed to be harvested. And so it's kind of awkward out there. It's not a huge space. And so I was bending over, but I was being aware of my back because, like I said, I've had a bad back for a really long time. And I must have been reaching, twisting, stretching just in the wrong way, because I stood up, after harvesting some of the spinach, I stood up and instantly my back just started aching. But I went ahead and finished what I was doing, and which I was almost done anyway, but so I went ahead and finished, and by the middle of that day, on Tuesday, it's been so miserable. I can't stand up straight. I can't bend over at all. And why is it when you can't bend over, that's the time you drop everything? Seriously, I had to go grocery shopping yesterday, which was so hard. Thank goodness for the order online service, or probably still be in Plymouth right now, stuck, because my back just wanted to quit. By the time we got done and got home, my back was done for. That's why I didn't record a haul video, which I was planning to. I was planning to record that haul video, have it posted on Friday, which today is the Friday I'm speaking about. But by the time I got home, it's like I can't do anything at all. I helped unpack the groceries just to make sure that I got everything I ordered, and then the kids put all the groceries away for me, and I went and laid down. This morning when I got up, I was feeling better. I mean, it was still painful, but I could actually get out of the bed a little bit easier and whatnot. I was able to feed the dogs, which have to bend way over for that, but I was able to do it. And then I was down on the computer for a little bit, answering emails and comments and things like that, and I was only maybe down there 45 minutes, closer to a half an hour, and oh my goodness, my back is hurting so bad again. So I went and put on my back brace, which does help. I've tried everything other than an oral medication because I don't have any. What I need is a muscle relaxer and pain relievers, and I don't have any. So, and I'm not going to the doctor. It's a giant pain to go to the doctor. You have to call, and of course you have to call and make an appointment, but I know for a fact I would not actually get to see a doctor. I would see a nurse practitioner, and she'd have been ordering me MRIs and everything else under the sun, because that's the only thing nurse practitioners know how to do. Sorry, I don't have a very high opinion of them nurses pretending to be doctors. It just bothers me. And I know they're educated, and they're way more educated than I am, but it doesn't change the fact that they're not doctors. And so they're not confident to just look at a patient and say, this is what's wrong with you. No, they have to order 15 tests. So no, I'm not going to the doctor, at least not at this point. I'm doing everything I know to do because I've dealt with this for so many years. The only time my back really feels good is if I am sitting in this recliner or laying flat in my bed. And the problem with sitting in the recliner is that when I try to get up, oh, it's really painful. But anyway, enough about that. I do want to try to get a video out for you Monday, which hopefully you're seeing this video on Monday. And I have so much to do in this house. I mean, the kids have been helping me a lot, but there's just things that they're not doing, and I would normally be doing them if I wasn't hurt. So anyway, I might be doing a video of me giving the kids direction of what to do in this house. I've got Pepper in my lap, of course, right there. I'm really not sure how she's doing, honestly. I think she's having some pain. She's a tough dog. She's always been super tough. Doesn't whine when she's not feeling well, or if something hurts her. She doesn't complain, like she doesn't whine or do anything. She just pushes through. But I can kind of tell that she's just not feeling good at all. She has more lumps on her now. Honestly, I think she probably has about 20 or less, not more than 20, but I haven't counted them all, and every time I pet her I feel a new one. So yeah, so far she's still eating pretty good, and she's drinking and everything, but mainly she just wants to sit in my lap and sleep. And part of that's because we have her on Benadryl because of her the tumors cause itchiness. They have histamine in them, which I find that so, I don't know, it's like it's bad enough she has to have cancer and that it's not going to get cured, but for them to be itchy on top of it just is so horrible and so not fair. But anyway, yeah, she's doing fine. Lucy's doing fine. She's laying on the floor here beside me in a dog bed. That second round of antibiotics she was on, you can hear her walking away. So far, so good. I think it's finally cleared up whatever was going on with her, infection-wise. And so, yeah, I'm really not sure what to expect with Pepper. I'm still trying to give her as many supplements and things to boost her immune system as I possibly can, but I honestly don't think she's going to get cured from this. I don't think what I'm doing for her is going to cure her, which I really hope it would, but I don't think it will. I'm just trying to make her last days of her life comfortable and try to prolong her life as long as possible. I don't want to prolong her life if she's suffering, but I just want her to have a happy rest of her life. So that's what we're trying to do. So anyway, the kids are still in bed. I need to get them up really soon. And I was texting with Scott and I was telling him how I feel so useless and worthless, and I hate being stuck in this stupid chair. That is not my personality at all. I like to keep busy. I like doing things, and my house is not horrible, but I mean, I can see it right now. It's sitting right over there. Oh, see? That huge basket of laundry on the floor over there. That's all my clothes. And ordinarily I would have them put away, but I can't bend over. My dresser drawers are low. I have dresser drawers underneath our bed, and I can't reach down there. So I'm gonna have to have Olivia help me with that today. And I feel bad. I mean, Olivia has been super helpful. She's cooked dinner Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. She's cooked dinner basically this whole week. And she's been helping me, and when I'm dropping things, I'll, Olivia, and she'll come and pick it up for me. It's like, why is it that whenever you can't bend over and pick something up is when you're always constantly dropping things? I'm clumsy enough as it is, but now it's like super mega clumsy because I can't pick stuff up that I drop. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here now. I've already been talking for several minutes, and hopefully I can film something exciting today. Scott said I should get out and go for short walks to kind of try to keep my back loosened up. So maybe I will take you out and let you see what the garden is doing. I don't think we're going to have a good garden this year. It's been super, super wet, and yesterday was cold. On top of everything else, I had to go grocery shopping. My back was killing me. I can't walk very fast, and I checked the weather app, and it said it was supposed to be 70, a high of 70 yesterday. So I wore shorts into town. It didn't get warmer than 49. 49 degrees, raining, and windy. It was so miserable yesterday. So yeah, it's like we have too much rain and it's not getting warm enough. So I don't know, may have no garden to speak of this year. But anyway, if I get out and walk it around, I'll bring you guys along and let's see what's going on. I know there's stuff in the greenhouse that's going to need to be picked. So that's another thing Olivia's going to have to do for me today. Travis does all the heavy lifting, and he helps me get up out of this chair. I have to hold on to his arm, and he has to pull me out of this chair because I really can't move very well. Travis, can you take that laundry hamper and put it on my bed and those clothes that are on the floor, because I can't pick that up and I need to get those clothes put away today. Olivia, I need you to help me put my clothes away. I am going to attempt to clean off this kitchen counter because I can do this without bending over, hopefully. Anything that requires me to bend over to put it away, I will save and let Travis and Olivia help me do. So we're going to take a little walk over to the garden, and Scott said I should get out and walk a little bit today to try to loosen this back up. And Olivia's with me. I forced her to come, told her in case I fall down she can run and get some help. I'm wearing a back brace and that helps, but boy, I cannot move very quick. Alright, I'll pick you back up when we're actually at the garden. This might take us a while. Well, here are the peppers. Things are just not growing very well. I'm going to have the kids weed the garden today. This needs to be weeded. It's just been too cold and too wet. So I don't know. They have grown some. These on the end, I think these were jalapeno peppers. They aren't growing at all. The other peppers seem to be growing some, but boy, it's a slow garden this year. We still have not cut that tree down. That one right there. It needs to be cut down. See how it's shading that end of the garden? All right, let's walk over to the rest of the garden, and I'll warn you now, it's very weedy. Needs to be hoed. The kids are going to be working on that today. So here's the corn, and they hoed between the rows, but they really need to kind of get closer to the plants, I think. At least pull some of the bigger weeds. Once the corn gets a little bit taller, you really don't have to worry about weeds in corn because it shades it shades and kind of drowns out the weeds. But while they're still young like this, you have to keep the weeds down so that they have a good chance to get a good foundation, good root system. And then here's the black-eyed peas, which have not been hoed at all, and they definitely need that. My okra here is very, very weedy. It needs to be weeded. My tomatoes, looks like they're starting to put some blooms on, but they're just not growing very big. Like I said, it's just been too cold. Now the tomatillos are doing really good. It's right here, and these three plants. And my cucumbers and melons are doing okay. This is I believe this is a squash. I can't remember for sure, but I believe that's a squash. And it's got blooms on it already. Yeah, that's acorn squash, and then cucumber. They've got some blooms too, but they're just not growing very much. Another cucumber. And then the watermelons are not doing very well at all. There's one. There. And then over here, we had some, oh yeah, there's a zucchini and a yellow squash plant. And they need to pull weeds around here too. And move that share out of there for you, because it's going to get in the way of things. And then here's our raised bed. Looks pretty good. Looks like the leaf lettuce could be harvested soon. And the radishes are doing really well. Papa didn't get that end thinned. He thinned out this end, but he didn't thin out that end. And here's the leeks. Probably in another week or so I can come and bury some more of these, because you're supposed to bury them as they grow. It looks like some volunteer lettuce is coming up in there too. And this is the spinach here. Okay, so now let's walk over to the greenhouse. I know Olivia's going to have to do some harvesting in there today. So this is the deck that's on the front of our house. We don't really spend a whole lot of time out here. Scott comes out and grills. His grill is out here. This obviously is not the deck that we have all decorated up, but I do have a couple of flower pots planted, and they are impatiens, I believe is what these are. They're shade loving because this deck does not get a whole lot of sun, and they're doing really well. They probably should be deadheaded, but no way I can do that as long as my back is hurting the way it is. Got my flip-flop wreath on the door. I like it on this door because, like I said, this side of the house is shaded most of the time, and so this won't get faded by the sun. Poor Bo. Bobo. He's so humiliated. Oh, what a good dog. He loves Travis. Travis is his buddy. The same day that I threw my back out, we ended up hooking this soaker hose up, because previous to that I was just using the watering can to water in here, and things were just doing terrible, absolutely terrible. And so, boy, they have grown. This is Friday, and Tuesday was when I set the soaker hose up, and these things are just thriving in here with constant watering. This is awesome. So I'm going to have Olivia go ahead and just harvest as much of that lettuce and spinach as she can without over harvesting. And it looks like maybe some of my radishes could be pulled. I don't know. And I decided to let that one volunteer tomato stay, and we'll see if it produces anything. It may not, considering it was just from a seed, probably from a tomato I got at the store. But yeah, looking great. My back started seizing up on me just standing out there while she was harvesting. So I came up and sat on the deck. I don't have the cushions on the seat, but that's okay. Oh, I just love this deck. It's been stinking cold and rainy. We haven't really been able to enjoy it that much. But it sure is fun to sit out here. And the spinners are going like crazy. I've been harvesting off of that parsley. I need to have Olivia do some of that too, and the basil. So I hope you guys don't mind that I don't have any makeup on. But it's hard. You know, it's hard to even put makeup on when you have your back out, because I have to lean forward over my sink, and I have to get pretty close to my mirror because I can't see without my glasses on. And it's really hard. It's really hard to put any makeup on. Like I said earlier, I had to go to town yesterday, and boy did I not want to, but I had to, and so I put a little bit of makeup on, and it was rough. It was really hard. You know, I don't really talk about God or my faith too much on this channel because that's not what this channel is about, but I just had to share one little message with you guys about what I'm learning through all of these hardships that we've been going through, and then I'll close out this vlog for today. I'm sorry there wasn't very much action, you might want to say, not a whole lot going on, but I just wanted to get on. It's been a long time. It seems like a long time since I've actually vlogged. And I know you guys missed out on a video on Friday because of my back, so I really wanted to get a video up for Monday. And so, anyway, I'm vlogging today. But back to what I have learned through all of this. Since my mom got sick and died, I've been struggling. I really have been struggling with how I can see God in all of it, and how can a good God allow these types of things to happen. And then when Pepper got sick with cancer, that, oh, it really shook me, you guys. It really shook me. I mean, I know I can't lose my salvation, and I will always believe that there is a God, and that God is in control of everything. But I was really having a hard time seeing how, if God is good, how he could allow all of this to happen. And, you know, and it's not just because my dog is sick. There's a lot of things going on in my life that I don't share. A lot of things that I do share, but our lives are not easy, and we struggle. We struggle financially. We struggle with physical problems. At least I do. Scott is very healthy, thank goodness, and my children are very healthy, thank goodness. But I have a lot of problems, a lot of physical problems, and this back injury that I'm suffering from right now is nothing new. It's something I've struggled with on and off for a really long time. But this is the worst it's been in a really long time. And when we got the news that Pepper is not going to get better, it really, it's probably the closest I've come to really just saying I don't have a faith in God anymore. Because I could not reconcile a good God with an innocent dog dying from cancer. Well, it's been really just like turmoil rolling inside of me, and it's like no wonder I've been having so many stress issues and IBS issues lately, because there's been so much going on inside my head. And you know, with this back injury, I mean, this back injury just laid me out. I'm telling you, I have been doing most of the last 3 days laying in bed. And day before yesterday, I was laying on the bed, and there was nothing on TV to watch, and I couldn't get to my computer to watch YouTube, and I have a couple of little games on my phone, and I'd used up all my lives, and I was laying there and I was like totally bored, and I couldn't do anything, and I was really feeling sorry for myself. Well, on my phone there's a little icon that says podcast. I don't know anything about podcasts, and I didn't know if you had to pay for them or how they worked, but just out of boredom I pushed that button, and a little search window came up. And so I guess supposedly so you could search for podcasts. Well, I didn't know any podcasts. And instantly in my mind, I was reminded of a radio program I used to listen to years ago called Revive Our Hearts. And it's hosted by Nancy DeMoss Wolgamuth. Now, back when I listened to her on the radio, she was Nancy DeMoss. She hadn't gotten married yet. But anyway, that's the only thing that came into my mind. And so I just, on a whim, I couldn't even remember the name of her program, but I just remembered her name. And so I typed her name into the search window, and up pops Revive Our Hearts. And so, and remember, I'm still thinking, okay, do I have to pay for this? You know, I'm thinking, well, surely if we have to pay, you know, they'll notify me of that. So I went ahead and clicked on her podcast, and lo and behold, it's free. I didn't have to pay for anything. And providentially, since the end of May, her podcasts have been about suffering and keeping your faith through suffering, why God allows suffering to happen, and it just spoke to my heart like you would not believe. And I just listened and listened and listened, and I've been listening to back episodes since Wednesday. And I feel such a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders, because even though I've talked to Scott about this, my frustrations and my feelings, and I've talked with my pastor a little bit about it, there was just something that God used in Nancy's podcast to just speak to my heart. And it helped me to realize that everyone is going to go through suffering. And you're not exempt from it just because you're a Christian. And the one thing that was said that really just like, wow, it really made sense to me, is that if you want to go through a life of no suffering, that means that you have to not love anyone or anything, because loved ones get sick, loved ones die, dogs get sick, dogs die, and if you just don't want to suffer that heartache of losing anyone, then you just have to not love anything. And what a horrible world we would be in if people just stopped loving other people, or stopped loving creatures, or stopped loving nature. What a wicked, horrible place this world would be if that were to happen. And so it's like, I don't enjoy my suffering, that is for sure. I really am heartsick that my dog is going to die. But how empty my life would be if I didn't love. If I didn't love my mom, or if I didn't love my dog. So although suffering is not fun, I think living a life not loving would be worse. And I also think that I've been pretty arrogant to think that, why am I suffering, when, why should I not? So I guess what I have to, my message in this to you all, and hopefully I can be encouraging to you all, is that no matter what you're going through in life, and I know there are people going through a lot worse things than what I'm going through, but no matter what it is, if it's causing you pain in any way, then that is suffering. And I would encourage you to try to find the good that's in your circumstances, no matter what they are. Nancy encouraged us to, in the days where you're just in the depths of despair, or really suffering, or feeling like you don't have faith, to write down the truths that you know, the things that you know that are true, and to dwell on those things and not dwell on the circumstances that you're in right now. And so I would encourage you guys to do that. I haven't physically written things down, but things have been brought to my mind of the joys that I have in my life, and how much richer my life is because I have allowed my heart to love. And it's really easy to say, I'm never going to love anybody or anything again, because then I won't get hurt. But I think you would be more hurt if you did that. If you closed your heart off to the people and the animals and whatever it is in your life that you love, if you close yourself off from that, it's going to make your life more miserable than if you allow yourself to love fully everything and everyone around you, and then have God there with you to cope with the suffering that's going to come, the loss. And it will happen. Everyone is going to lose somebody or something in their life, and no one is exempt from it. And I think that is what I have really learned in the last 6 months or so of this really hard time we're going through with Lucy and with Pepper and with my health. So in your suffering, find the good, and in your suffering, don't stop loving. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.